course, we are called as believers, not just prophets, but as believers. We are supposed to be emanating, according to 2 Corinthians chapter 2, we're supposed to be emanating the fragrance of God. So we definitely have to make sure, it is imperative that we as prophets, prophetic people, it is our responsibility to make sure that our vessel, our apothecary, is fly free. Yes. So that we will not find ourselves in a predicament where we are uttering or making those declarations from a contaminated place.
In Antioch,
yes,
the text says, and they taught the assembly, watch this, a whole year. They taught the assembly
a whole
year. Okay. That was the teaching ministry. 2 chapters later, in chapter 13, there was, it says, and now there were in Antioch apostles and teachers and prophets, etc. And they names, and then of course they consecrated Barnabas and Saul, by the way. But that waiting period was not a wasted period. That was the training and those gifts that we see 2 chapters later, whatever time period, came from those who were teachable, who were the acronym FAT, faithful, available, and teachable.
Can it affect other areas in our life?
Absolutely. It affects, not only does it affect how you show up. So whenever you get stuck in your stuff, you can't move forward. And being stuck in a situation that frustrates you is not going to serve you. So the key to, after you identify the stuff, is deciding whether or not you're going to stay stuck in the stuff. So I could have gotten so bent out of shape about my hair not doing what I thought it should have, could have, would have done, that I said, you know what, Kelly, I can't do the show today because my hair is tripping. Right? And that would have had a ripple effect on you, me, our reputation. We would have robbed the people who are hearing us and supporting this today and needing to hear a word of encouragement and liberation and help, for dealing with their stuff. They wouldn't have gotten it. Why? Because I didn't like the way my hair was. I mean,
come on.
Yeah, you've got to put stuff in the right perspective. Some stuff is not worth sweating over. I love the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, because what you realize is that it's all small stuff.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another conversation with Kelly. I am your host, Kelly Spencer, and I am glad that you took this afternoon to eavesdrop in on this conversation that is going to be invaluable. It is going to be powerful, impactful, and even if it doesn't apply to you now, you never know when you're going to need it in the future. So do me a favor, get a pen and a piece of paper. I know I always say that, but today you are going to need a pen and a piece of paper, because the information, again, if you don't need it today, you might need it tomorrow, or you may know someone who needs it. So if that is the case, like, share, comment, holler at me. Let me know who is watching. I love to shout back at all of the viewers. So if you shout out to me, I will shout back out to you. Again, thank you for joining us. And we are not going to belabor and be long. Today's topic is talking about job search. And I know anybody that has to pay rent or a mortgage or a car, at some point you need a job to be able to do that. And with the economy being the way that it is, job search has kind of changed a little bit. Years ago, I remember when I first moved to Houston, you could go to Houston Chronicle. The employment section was about that thick, maybe. Now that's the width of the magazine, the entire news paper. So things have changed, definitely. And so I have two power-packed individuals that are going to drop some gems and nuggets. So I hope I'm giving you time to get that pen and paper ready. As I always do, I want to start out with a scripture. Exodus 18:20 from the New King James Version says, "And you shall teach them the statutes and laws, and show them the way in which they must work, and the work they must do." And yes, that is definitely talking about kingdom work, but also work in the natural. So I am so excited again that you are here. So shout at me. Let me know who is watching and where you're watching from. I'm going to bring on my guests. I have Miss Lois Jackson and Miss Latrina Johnson. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much for having us.
I am excited to have you. This is a topic that when I began to just kind of seek the Lord about what he wanted to talk about this year, this was definitely one of the topics that I heard. So I know that it's God's timing and plan that he connected us for such a time as this. So before I go any further, Miss Lois, she is the CEO of Pathway to Destiny Coaching. She's a mother. She's a certified life coach. And she is the lead coach at Work Faith. And we're going to talk more about Work Faith in a second. And I have Miss Latrina Johnson. She is the CEO of Speaking Above Mediocrity. By the way, I love that title, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is an author, a speaker, a trainer, a mother as well. And she is the lead instructor at Work Faith. So again, welcome, ladies. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, Miss Lois, let's just kick off with the first question that I want to pose.
Okay.
How, and I talked about it a little bit, how has job search changed over the last decade?
Well, we all know it has changed quite a bit.
Yes.
You know, there was a time when you could, like you said, you could go into the newspaper and just, look at all the vacancies and just pick a resume. You had one standard resume and you just sent that out to wherever. And, or you would also walk into various operations, companies,
Yes.
hospitals, whatever, and ask to fill out a paper application. Well, that does not happen much anymore today.
If at all.
Definitely. And, there's a lot to do with technology that brings that about,
Yes.
because the job market has changed so much. Employers found the need to start using technology a little bit more when they started looking for people of quality to fit their openings. And social media, that's another thing that is used more widely now when it comes to looking for jobs.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people don't understand the impact that social media has on their ability to get a job. Let's see what else. There's now there's remote work.
Yes.
A
Yes.
lot of people
Yes.
are vying for remote work, and of course, that came about from the pandemic. There had always been some work at home jobs. That's what we used to call it.
Right,
But
right, right.
but now, after the pandemic, when it was necessary for people to be able to work away from the traditional office,
Mhm.
that became a big thing. Let's see, there's other things. Oh, skills and qualifications. Um,
Yes,
we were taught,
absolutely.
well, when I was growing up, we were taught go to school, get a degree, and it'll be easy for you to get a job. Well, we know that that is not necessarily the case anymore.
Case. Yes,
A
yes.
lot of times, employers are looking for certifications.
Mhm.
That might be as well as a degree, or it could be in lieu of.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that a lot of people have to think about. So and we won't even get to talking about the application and interview process.
That's
That's a whole
yes,
long thing too.
absolutely, absolutely,
So those are just a few of the ways that things have changed, over the last decade or so.
absolutely. And I'm just going to share this briefly, and then move on to Latrina. Um, this article was from Forbes magazine, and they wrote it in January of 2024. Of course, we know the unemployment rate. Um, a lot of companies are now doing internal promotions, um, focusing on employee retention, multiple interviews. So you're not just going to interview one time with the hiring manager. You may go through several people before you actually are offered the job. Another thing, real quick, is situational questions. It's not so much can you type, how fast can you type, can you mop a floor, can you, the basic skills. They want to know how good fit, how are you a good fit for the organization. And so they may ask you, what is your greatest weakness? And I, raising my both hands for years when I would interview, struggle with that question. Because I'm like, well, a weakness will make me automatically disqualified for the position because I'm going to, be as honest as I can. But what they're looking for is something you struggle with, how you overcame it, and how are you able to utilize that new learning to move forward. So this is just a little something that you all might want to take again, some notes, hint, hint. You could talk about before assuming my current role. I had no previous experience in whatever. So I began reading and watching videos. I asked my colleague to show me some tips regarding whatever that is. Now I have the hang of it and I'm able to do it well. So that is a good way to answer the question. Lastly, I'm going to talk about what employers are looking for. You talked about that, Ms. Lois. Are you hungry? Are you humble? Are you smart? And there is a book called The Ideal Team Player. And a humble team member is someone who is focused on the team, not themselves. So a question they may ask would be, how do you handle apologies? Either giving or receiving them. A hungry team member is self-motivated. So they'll ask you, what was your work ethic like as a teenager? These are all different than 10, 20 years ago. Smart team members, they want to know how you function in group dynamics. Have you ever worked with a difficult boss, a difficult colleague? How did you overcome it? So again, there are like just so many different things that we could share with you all today about that over the last few years, how things have changed. But would you say it is easier in some regard because you don't have to go and physically go to a company, drop off a resume? You can do it online. Or how would you say is there anything easier about job search?
And you're talking to Miss Latrina now?
Either one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Latrina, I'll give you an opportunity to speak.
I wouldn't say necessarily say that it's easier or more difficult, but that is a difference in it. Whereas in days of old, when you were able to walk into the actual facility, you may have had the opportunity to meet someone in person
Mhm.
and get interviewed on the spot and able to make that genuine connection.
Mhm.
Whereas now most company or organization is requiring you to complete everything digitally online.
Yes.
So with that, it puts you in a deficit, so to speak, because now you're, especially in Houston and large cities, metropolitan cities like Atlanta, Dallas, and many others, you're being put in a hat that's going to be very competitive. So one position can get anywhere from 250 to 500 applications. So you have to find ways to make yourself stand out to garner the
Yes.
attention of the employer for them to even call you in for the interview.
Yes.
So you have to pay attention. You have to pay grave attention to how you complete your application, because your application is going to be the first representation of who you are as a professional, and everything count. And what we find, Ms. Lois and I both find, that a lot of individuals that's in the job search market right now, they don't quite understand how important it is to take their time and complete that application with
Correctly.
professionalism
Yes.
and accuracy.
Yes.
Because sometimes they thinking, oh, it's okay if I leave something blank. It's not okay, because
Absolutely.
you're in competition. You have to keep in mind that if you are going to get called in for an interview, they're going to interview somebody before you, somebody after you. But they also going to have applications that they're going to read before you and after you. And
Yes.
one of the
Yes.
things you all have touched on, you and Ms. Lois both have touched on technology and how technology is integrated in everything that we do
Yes.
now. So I'm
Yes.
going to insert, which I know everybody's familiar with now, or and if you're not greatly familiar with it, you need to, AI, artificial
Yes.
intelligence.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the reason why that is so important for you to kind of get an understanding of it, and I have to admit too that I am still learning because it's ever changing and growing. So if you don't get in now, you're gonna get lost, but you're gonna get left behind. But even now, most organizations, before your application even reach to the eyes of a human, like human resources or hiring manager, they use an AI, or artificial intelligence, to skim through the resume to see if you have
Yes.
any keywords or key qualities that they're looking for before
Yes.
even to a person. So it is just different. You cannot apply for jobs the way that you did before COVID, and you definitely
Yes.
cannot interview for a job the way you did before COVID. A lot has changed during that downtime that we
Yes.
had, that all of us had in the United States. People had a lot of time on their hand, and they came up with some great ways to do things differently. So if you don't know how to do those things differently, unfortunately, you take yourself out of the race.
And Latrina, just to piggyback on that, what would you say are some common things that recruiters look for, or the AI software when it scans through the resume? Like, what are some common things? You did mention about the keywords, the buzzwords, but what are some other things that can be a deal breaker?
Sure. Well, those are some of the things that they are looking for, and I'm going to tell you how you find some of those keywords. A lot of those keywords you will find in the position title where it has job description.
Mm-hmm.
In the job description, they
Mm-hmm.
will tell you what they are looking for, the skills, the qualities, the requirements. Sometimes, if you see something in the job posting that says something like looking for someone who's timely, you
Yeah.
want to make sure you put on your application that you're timely, because the reason why they chose to put that in there, perhaps the last person that was in that position wasn't
Absolutely.
timely or well
Absolutely.
organized, things of that nature. So you want to look for keywords and key details like that. But also spelling. AI is going to look to see if you have correct spelling, correct punctuation. So
Grammar.
AI is going to
Yes.
go through
Yes.
all of that, and they're going to determine just from that alone. Okay, this person can spell. This person know how to
Yes.
formalize a sentence. This person
Yes.
good paragraph. You know, and this person has the key words that we're looking for. Now, mind you, this is just not, you know, technology. This is not even a person. So they're not biased. You know, they're not biased at all. They're just looking for certain things before your application even reach to the hands of an actual person.
Miss Lois, did you want to add something to it?
I think she covered so much of it, you know,
Yeah,
but some of the other things that they're looking for, yeah, they are looking to see if you meet the requirements.
of
You
course.
know,
Yes.
in the region that we are, we'll find as we look through job postings, there are a lot of postings for those who are bilingual.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and bilingual, and they mean that you can speak the language and
Read, write.
and
Yes.
yes, and so knowing a few words is
It's
not,
not
that does
bilingual.
not qualify you. So you have to make sure when they ask for required, then that's what you have to give. If they say it's required that you have a 4-year degree in a certain discipline,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
what they're looking for. You know,
Yes.
you throw yourself out of the ring when you don't have that. You know, and I've run into a lot of clients that say, "Yeah, but I could do the work." And I'm like, "I understand that. And if you ever had a chance to get in there, I'm sure you could show them that,
Right.
but you don't meet the requirements. And those are necessary things. There's required and then there's preference.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
sometimes
Yes.
they have some things that they prefer. They say, we prefer that you're
A
bilingual.
4-year degree or bilingual. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So those are some of the things that you really have to be careful about. Also, making sure that you present the right format, because we had kind of talked about the format of your resume.
Yes.
For the most part, when you're dealing with artificial intelligence or those applicant tracking systems we talk about, ATS,
Mm-hmm.
so many of them are really geared toward the reverse chronological resume format. You
Yes.
know, now
Yes.
that is not always the best format if you're trying to say transition from one
Gotcha.
industry
Gotcha.
to another, one
Gotcha.
type of profession to another. But if you can get everything written in such a way that it highlights what you do have that you need to show for that particular position, then that reverse chronological is going to be your best bet.
And while we're on that subject, Ms. Lois, explain to the viewers the difference between the chronological and the functional resume.
Okay. Okay. The chronological, that's the one that we see most often. That's where in your work experience, you outline from your current or most recent position all the way down to your first position. Now, one of the things that we caution people, try not to go beyond 10 years.
Okay.
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 Because there are a lot of people say, well, I've been working for 30 years and I've worked in
Right.
so
Right.
many different, types of jobs and whatever. Try not to go beyond 10 years. So that's what that's going to show from your most recent or your current on down. Now, that functional, it's going to be situated such that you highlight the skills and experience you have, and you put the actual job and dates a little further down. Because what you're trying to
Gotcha.
emphasize
Gotcha.
is your skills and experience, not so much.
Not so much the jobs. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah,
Gotcha.
because a lot of times people have taken jobs that, were just what we used to call bus stop jobs. It's
Yes.
like, I just
Yes.
need a job. And
In the
so
meantime.
in the meantime, jobs. That's right. And it may have nothing to do with what they really want to do or what they've done in the past, but they're trying to get back to it.
Yes.
So it's just important all around that you show the skills, the experience, the knowledge that you have. And you have to do that so that your resume will stand out. Because one thing we know, yes, maybe once you get in an interview, you could probably show the
Sell
people.
yourself, yes.
But if your resume is not right, you
Mhm.
won't get the interview.
Mhm.
So that's very important. And that resume comes from, what we teach a lot of times in our job search accelerator classes, that basic application. And
Yes.
that's what Miss Latrina does very well. She teaches everybody how to fill out a basic application. Latrina,
Yes.
tell us about some of the comments that we've heard from people who came into the program not thinking they needed to know how to fill
How
out an
we form the
application.
application. Right, right.
They would come in and say things like, I thought I knew what I was doing. I was doing it wrong. Oh my God, this is why no one ever called me for the interview. This is why I've been looking for a job for over a
Yes,
year.
yes, yes.
Because now I realize I've been completing the application wrong.
And talk about like some of the things that are common mistakes people make when they do the application. Like well, you mentioned one, which was leaving fields blank.
Mm-hmm.
What would you
So
say would be?
yeah, so that and the reason why you don't want to leave anything blank on your resume because you don't want to leave any room for assumption. And if
Yes,
the
yes,
employer assume anything, it's not going to be anything positive. It's going to be something along the lines of they were rushing, they don't pay attention to detail, they don't know how to answer the
yes,
question. But
yes,
if you
yes,
in A, which stands for not applicable, they know okay, this doesn't apply. They read it, it doesn't apply to them. Even something like filling out your phone number. I know a lot of applications now they still ask for your home number, your cell phone number, and most people have one number. A lot of people no longer
correct,
have one
correct,
account,
correct.
and so they'll leave it blank, right? Still, you want to put something in either write your number 2 times or write
In
NA and then write your phone number on the other. But you don't want to leave anything blank. Something else that people take for granted on the very last page of almost all applications, they have a box that says, do you have any additional information or anything else you would like to share? Most people put see resume because they're like, well, I have everything on the resume already, and I
right.
feel like this application,
They
and you
have the
want to
resume.
share
Why can't they just go get the resume or match
right,
it? Yeah.
right. It makes you look incompetent and lazy. So you want to make sure that you're not looking incompetent, but you're being a professional. And don't forget, you are competing. So this is the part
Yes.
that you want to
Yes.
use this
Yes.
opportunity to get that second win. So
Yes.
we have what we call qualities of summary of qualifications that we teach. Summary of qualifications, which could be a 30-minute segment by itself. But we give you different things that you can put in that box to help yourself to stand out. And pretty much it's just a summary of everything that you've done that's specific and relevant to the
That
position
job
which you're
you're
applying.
applying for.
So
Hmm.
let's say, for instance,
Hmm.
I'm a trainer. This is what I do. I'm a speaker. And I also have in my background phlebotomy, right? When I'm applying for a speaking position, I don't put I'm a phlebotomist or what I did as a phlebotomist back in the day because it's not specific and relevant.
For that,
So you want to
yes,
make
yes.
sure you want to utilize that time to put what's specific and relevant to the position in which you're applying for and why the employer should choose you.
That is good information. And I believe it's Tashay or Tashi Peavy. Welcome. And Miss Ramona Simon, welcome. And Tashay even put in the comment that is very good information. Thank you for watching. And by the way, I forgot to tell you guys the reason I love WorkFaith, who they both work for. I worked for WorkFaith for 4 years, I believe it was. I was the manager of instruction. So I am very familiar with WorkFaith, and I guarantee you nobody does job search preparation better. And I'm not going to spill the beans, but we're going to talk about that in a second. But I just wanted to let you know that's why I know what your expertise and the information is going to do for those who are in job search. And Latrina, since you have the mic, as they say, talk about what happens if an applicant or job seeker has a criminal background or some type of challenging situation that they encountered, how do you advise them to answer that question? That's on every application. Have you ever
Well,
committed? Yes.
so the first thing I want to leave with, make sure you read the question and answer the question accordingly. The
Yes.
reason being is that each application is different, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
one application may state, have you ever committed a felony or misdemeanor? So
Mhm.
if that's ever, that means going all the way back to 30 years, you answer yes.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Some applications may say, have you committed a felony or misdemeanor within the last 7 years?
Years. Yes.
And what a lot of applicants make the mistake of doing is if it's outside of the scope of the 7 years, they still will put yes when they did not ask them. They were like, well, I did it 15 years ago and it may come up.
Mm-hmm.
Each
Mm-hmm.
organization has the right and the ability to decide how far back they're willing to go for a criminal activity, right? So you want to make sure that you answer the question accordingly. Now, if you have to say yes on the application, say yes, the nature of the crime, not the charge, which is a difference. So the
Okay,
nature of the
explain the difference so that the viewers
so
will
the
know.
so the nature of the crime, you would put either felony or misdemeanor, and you leave it just like that. The
Gotcha.
charge would be aggravated assault or murder in the first degree. You don't want to put the actual charge. You just want to put either felony or
Or
misdemeanor.
misdemeanor.
You want to also put the date that the offense was, that it transpired, whatever the date was, as close as possible, January of 2020, okay? And the location, Harris County.
Gotcha.
And underneath that, you'll put, please allow me to discuss during the interview. You don't
Gotcha.
want to write anything
Gotcha.
out on the paper. You just want to say, please allow me to discuss during the interview. So again, yes, the nature, felony or misdemeanor,
Mm-hmm.
the location,
Mm-hmm.
Harris County, and the date, January of 2020, whatever it may have been. And it's very important to say, please allow me to discuss
Discuss. Yes.
during. Okay. So then when you get into the interview, we have what we call the CAR method. CAR I'm sorry, the challenge, the action, and the result, right?
Yes.
So you'll go in and you will start with the CAR method, and you will start with telling the challenges that you had that led you to convict the crime. Okay. And it could
Yes.
be something along the lines of, I fell into a great depression because I could not get a job. And that job led me to drinking. That drinking led me to make irresponsible decisions. And I end up, committing a petty crime, and I had to serve time. So you say, this is what I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
then you follow up with, but I realized the consequences of my choices, and I am greatly remorseful because how it impacted me, how it impacted those that I love, how it impacted
Yes. Yes.
and now you follow up with the result is because I had to serve time and I did not like my freedom taken away from me. I make sure that I hang around with positive people,
Yes.
support group. I go to church. I have a relationship. I have an accountability partner. And if you get the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, I guarantee you and I promise you, you will not regret your choice. But you say all that in the interview and not on the paper. In the interview.
Because if someone would see aggravated robbery or attempted murder or something like that, it's automatic no. But you're right. Giving them the opportunity, you're giving them the information first that they asked for, and then also asking for the opportunity to discuss it. It makes it a little softer.
And also, I want anyone to know that maybe listening to this and have family members or yourself in that situation, there are a lot of companies that have second chance programs within their organization. So they welcome those individuals who have a criminal background. And I also want you to remember, and I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Lois because I'm a trainer, so we like to talk. But also I want you to know a couple of things. One is when you're doing your job search, you are the asset. Because anytime you see an employer that has a posting that says, hey, we have a position, in essence, what they're saying is we have a need to be met. Please, somebody come and help us to run efficiently and produce what we're trying to produce. And then if they call you in for the interview, they want to hire you based on what they read on your application. So you're also interviewing them because you're going to take your years of experience, your education, your knowledge, and you're going to bring it to that company. And then you get a chance to decide if you want to bring all that you have to the company. So it's actually a two-way street. So it's not, a lot of times we just think, oh, I'm so desperate. No, the company is so desperate. That's why they have the job posting. You have what they need. So just make sure you go in with that mindset and interview them to feel like, are they going to fit into your lifestyle? Is this company going to fit into your values? Because it matters just as much as they're trying to find out. And Kelly touched on it. Will fit. Can you do the work? Will you do the work? And will you be a good fit for the culture of the company? Same thing. You want to make sure that you're going to an organization where you feel valued, you feel you have a voice. They're going to respect you. You're going to have room for growth as well, Miss Lois. Because I keep talking.
But that was good information.
Very good. Very good information.
Go ahead, Miss Lois.
No, she's saying everything just right. We work very well together in collaboration with each other, because what they teach, what the instructors teach in the job search accelerator classes, then the coaches come behind and we reinforce it. We reinforce what they say, and that's why we have to work closely together. And because things change so quickly, that's why it's very important that you, as a job seeker, not just assume you know what to do and how to do it. Because I've had plenty of clients that came and say, oh, I know how to get a job. I know how to get a job. I haven't have a problem getting a job. And then they come back to me a few weeks later and they were like,
nothing.
Yeah, I thought they were going to call me back. They assured me, that I could just come back at any time and get my job. Well, it doesn't always turn out that way. So one of the main things that, we want to preach about is being prepared.
Yes.
A lot of times people will go to job fairs. I'll just bring that up. They may go to job fairs and they go with this one size fits all resume, and they're just handing it out to everybody. Well, first of all, you have to have a focus on the job that you want. We have clients that come in all the time and say, I just want any job. I just need a job. I just need a job.
Right.
Well, and they say, are you going to give me a job? Well, WorkFaith is not a job placement agency. We're not. We're a job preparation agency. So we give you the tools and the techniques that you're going to need through either the JSA, which is Job Search Accelerator class, or if you come directly into coaching, we start with where you are and we start working with you on a plan so that you can achieve your goals. And there is my manager, my director says this a lot. There's no such job called any job. It has a definite title to it, and it has definite requirements to it. So the best thing that you can do is to focus in on what it is you want to do. And then let's see if you have everything that you need in order to put you there.
And I love what you said is be prepared when you go to a job fair. The first time I went to a job fair, I had no idea what to expect. And I didn't know, okay, am I supposed to go up to each table? I had no clue. what I was doing. So just the mere fact of you saying be prepared with not a cookie cutter resume.
Right. Yeah, because before you go to that job fair, you should have done some research
Research on the
to find out
employers.
the employers that are coming and the jobs that they are offering. And if
Absolutely.
you have to
Absolutely.
have, you might have to have 5 different resumes. And see, that's the thing that gets a lot of people. People don't necessarily like to go back and tweak their resumes. They
Right.
want to put
Right.
everything on there they've ever done. And you heard Latrina say earlier, okay, she has a history in phlebotomy. But if she's looking for a trainer job, unless she's going to be training someone how to be a
Do
phlebotomist,
phlebotomy. Yes.
she doesn't
Yes.
need to put
Yes.
that on there.
Yes.
The certifications that you have of your certification was in cosmetology, but now you're trying to be an administrative assistant. You would not necessarily want to highlight everything you did in the terms of a
Yes.
cosmetologist. Now, there are some transferable skills that,
That's what I was leaving. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
they come in just about almost every job. Things like teamwork, organization, communication, those kind of things. That's going to be across the board, wherever you work. So those are the things that you want to spotlight and give more time to, instead of saying, I was great at putting hair on rollers.
And the interviewer is going to say, okay, and you're going to put rollers on the CEO's hair?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I hope you guys are taking notes. And I want to say we have a question from Miss Peavy. I recently retired a year ago, not thinking about working anywhere again. But if I have to in the future, will my experience be considered or made less desirable because of retirement? Good question. So whichever one of you ladies want to.
Okay.
Shot.
You go ahead. I think you were getting ready to say something.
Real quick, then I'll pass it over. In our job search accelerator class or our Ready Set Go class, we have a lot of individuals who have retired and come back. So when they come back, generally they retire, and it's for different reasons. Sometimes they just get bored at home and they want that social interaction, right? Sometimes a lady may decide, you know what, I want a little pocket change, so I'm gonna get my hair and nails done. For whatever reasons, one come back, they come back. The only difference, first of all, you still will be very desirable because employees love to see someone who had longevity. So they love that. So that's going to be a plus on your application. Okay.
Yes.
The only thing that you're going to really have to learn is how to interview differently and how to complete your application. Because even like I've been with WorkSafe for a year, but the last 15 years I had kind of been at the same job or 2 jobs. So even for me last year when I was interviewing and completing an application, it was different.
Yes.
Like the situational question, it was there. I was like, oh, okay. You want me to give you a time when? Oh, you want me to give you a story? Oh, okay. So you just have to learn how to do that. So when Miss Lloyd say, you want to practice, you want to prepare, you want to practice, and when you prepare and you practice, you'll perform well. So those are 3 P's: practice, prepare, and perform well. So you want to begin to research questions, situational questions now, and begin to start answering them, right? So you want to begin to just do that research. And the more you practice, the more comfortable. Like
It'll just flow. Yes.
Most interviewers ask this one question. Probably all interviewers ask this one question, and it trips all of us up. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Yes.
And it's like, okay, I have to talk about myself. But if you start practicing talking about it, and when they ask you that question, some would say, tell a little bit about your hobbies, and you can, like 1 sentence, why you like it. But mostly what they want to know is your professional background.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
you
yes, absolutely.
right off the bat. So if you begin to just find those questions, you begin to practice them, and then when you're in the interview, you'll be able to answer it. And definitely get comfortable. And you may be, I don't know, start practicing filling out applications online, because most employers require you to complete an application online.
Mhm.
And then I'm really going to turn it over to Miss Lois. Most applications today take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to complete. So you want to make sure you
You
block
have
off time
time.
to complete it. You don't want to, have an engagement you have to get to when you start the application, because then you're a rush and you'll make careless mistakes. Miss Lewis.
Yeah, very true. I was just thinking about some of the clients that have come to us, and they're having various issues, especially people who are coming out of retirement, because you all come on, we do live in America and we know ageism is alive and well. So we need not act like everything is just going to be okay, and you just going to be welcome into any job. This again goes back to making sure that you read the job description and what they're asking you to do,
Mhm.
and you show them how you can do that without mention of age and years and that kind of thing. Because a lot of times when doing a resume, we will tell you up in your summary of qualifications, don't say I have over 35 plus years of experience, because you are immediately dating yourself, you know. But to say that you have 10 plus or even
Yes,
15
yes,
plus,
yes.
but definitely, yeah, don't go
Not 30 or 40.
no. And another thing, let's talk about the resume. When you're completing your resume and it comes down to the education section, and you went to, okay, for instance, I went to University of Houston and I graduated with a BS degree in technology and all that. Well, I don't want to go then and put that I graduated in 1978 because that's
That,
when my
but
degree was. And
no.
they're like, that was 50 years ago, lady. So, so then that again shows what my age would be. You can put the name of the school, the
Mhm.
city and state where you went, and the degree. Okay. You
Mhm.
don't have to put the year.
Mhm.
So, and that's where a lot of
That's
people,
crucial.
yeah, that's where a lot of people get in
Yeah.
trouble too, because they've been taught, this is what we
You have
do.
to put the year.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
hmm
Mhm.
You put your years when it comes to your experience, your professional experience, but not your
For
education.
education.
hmm
Wow, that right there is worth $1 million, because you are absolutely right. Unfortunately, we do live in this society where, some companies, because of the type of work, would
Yes.
prefer a younger individual who they can train and cultivate and mentor, and eventually move them up. Some may want someone that's well seasoned, but you don't want to knock yourself out of the game too early. And
Right.
another thing, we have some good questions coming. I'm getting ready to shoot them at you. Talk about that email address. How can that date you? And some do's and don'ts.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to lead out on that because I am guilty as well. Yes, I still have an AOL account.
Miss
Yes,
Lois.
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Miss Lois.
But also I have 5 different email accounts, and I have one that would be specifically for
For
job search.
search.
And yes, and that one is a Gmail.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
that's what you want to do. You want to kind of stay away from the AOL or the Hotmail,
Yeah.
those. And
Yes.
also you want to make sure that that email address sounds professional. We don't want to put out an email for a professional position that says cat lover at 123 Gmail. I mean, that's not what you want to do. You know, and a lot of time, I'm gonna tell you, and I might get bitten by about this, but those of us that are that we are very proud of our relationship with
With
Jesus
God.
Christ,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't necessarily want to put Jesus lover or he died for me on Calvary.
Using
At
that one.
air.com.
Using that one.
You know, there's a time and a place for all that you can put on
Absolutely.
your personal email. But
Yes.
when you want
Yes.
people to see you as a professional,
Yes.
then you have a professional email, and that can be as simple as your name at gmail.com. Of course, you always have to make sure nobody else has it, and Gmail will definitely tell you,
Of
you
course.
know, if that one's already taken.
Of
But
course.
those are just some quick little things.
So in other words, no hot legs at AOL.com.
No,
That would not be.
no, that's yeah.
But I just want to say Latrina's advice about just putting when they or not putting, but answering the question. Tell me a little bit about yourself. You don't want to give them a dossier. I love soccer. I have a black belt in karate, or all of these things, because they're going to look at that and say, so they have a lot of personal things going on, personal activities that they're involved in. How dedicated are they going to be, and how committed are they going to be to this job? So that was a key nugget as well, Latrina. And let me get to these questions. How does a person look for new employment while still employed? That's a good one. Thank you, Miss Ramona.
Mm-hmm. Latrina, you want to take that one?
Sure. You just look. You just look. You look at different job search engines like Indeed.com. I would highly recommend LinkedIn. A lot of people do not. Well, let me not say a lot of people. I know when I was doing my job search, I did not utilize LinkedIn until I was filling out job applications, and it was required that I had a LinkedIn URL to provide. But LinkedIn is a great social media networking site that's strictly professional that you want to use, and just begin to look even while you're employed. Because when I was looking and I got employed for a work faith, I was very much employed at the time. And you on your application now you want to use discernment. Okay, you always want to use discernment.
Yes.
They always ask, can they contact your current employer or your previous employer? I put no when I was working. Like, yeah, don't contact my current employer because I don't want them to know I'm getting ready to leave right now. Now, let's say for instance, you've already gone to all those who you answer to, your director or manager. You say,
Yes.
looking for a job. You're gonna be getting phone calls, and they're like,
Yes.
okay, go ahead. Then I would say yes, but you want to make sure that you've had that line of communication. So,
Beforehand, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we have another one that's good. How do I stay motivated during job search?
That's a great question. You have to remember, first and foremost, that all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord, and everything will work according to His timing. And
Yes.
mindset that job search is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It is going to take time. So don't go in it with full speed ahead because you will lose your win. So make sure you pace yourself and be very realistic with what it is that you can handle. So for instance, from a very practical standpoint, you want to carve out how many applications you can complete in a week's time without feeling overwhelmed. You have to be consistent. Now, let's say you like, I want to do 20 applications a month. Monday through Friday, if you do one, at the end of the month, you've been done 20 applications for the month. Now, if you know that your stamina and your capacity and your width, your broadband is more than that, then by all means, do more than that. But don't so much you become overwhelmed. And just remember, or as a child of God, knowing that He got your back, He goes before you, He's with you and he's behind you. And if you get a closed door, say hallelujah and thank you, Jesus, because that means that is not the
Was
door
not for me.
go
Exactly.
through. There's something else that you're supposed
Exactly.
to go through. So he's making sure that you don't walk through the same door. So let's say, for instance, you get that phone call, you have the interview, and they decide to go with another candidate. Well, thank you, Jesus, because that's not where you have for me to go. And then
That's right.
just
That's right.
knowing that God has your back.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really good. And another way to stay motivated is remember your why. Why are you looking for a job at this point? And I had one client say, "Well, because I need some money." And I said, "Okay, so why do you need the money?" "Well, so that I can pay my bills." "Why do you need to pay your bills?" "Because I want to keep things running smoothly for myself and for my children." So that's when you start focusing on, I'm doing this for my children and I want only the best for my children.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
you start thinking of those things when you are looking for jobs, even if you have to take a right now job. You
In the
still
meantime.
go and think about, how is it going to affect my family? How is it going to affect my lifestyle? Am I able to do this for a prolonged period of time? And for those jobs that you take like that, we tell people all the time, while you're working, keep looking, but also see if there's some other training that you can get
Yeah.
while you're waiting, while you're doing this, that will put you in a better place to be marketable.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we have a couple more. I would like to pass this information on to people that need a second chance. I heard the speaker say that there are second chance jobs out there. That yes, there are. Do you have a list of employers that hire second chance?
That would be our wonderful lead career coach that would have uh, some of those details. I don't, as the instructor, I know maybe one or two, but Miss Lois, one the lead coach, she has definitely. Miss Lois, you wanna?
Yes. Now, and we do have at Work Faith, we have a list of employers that we have worked with in the past that we know are second chance employers. However, there's always, good old Google.
Yep.
Google, if you Google second chance employers and you give them the location, Houston, Texas,
Yeah.
or wherever you are, then they're going to bring up a list, or they're going to bring up another link that you can go to that will show that. And this is what I want to say too. There are a lot of employers who don't necessarily publicize the fact that they hire second chance employees,
Yes. Yes.
but they will take you on a case by case basis.
Yes.
So a lot of times, unless they specifically say, if it's something in their guidelines, for instance, there are a lot of jobs that require licenses by the state of Texas. you know, More than likely they are not second chance employers. The insurance industry, the banking industry, those types of things where you're going to come up under a lot of scrutiny. They may not be second chance employers, but we have found also a lot of nonprofits that are second chance employers. There's a whole industry that specifically deals with people who have come out of incarceration. So, that's a good time again to go and to check our faithful Google and find out. And
Yes.
also other people that because one thing we did not talk about here is networking.
Very
Networking,
crucial. Yes. Yes.
yes, that is very essential for people, and people don't want to network. When I ask people all the time, I say, "Do you? Who is your network?" And they were like, "I don't have a network." I'm like, "Sure, you do. You have people that you went to high school with, you went to college with, some of your teachers, some of your past coworkers, some of your past employers,
Mhm.
people you go to church with every day, and just networking with people that you might meet, and just friends of friends.
Yeah.
You do have a network sometimes we just have to have somebody point out to us that we have a ready network, and
Yeah.
then know how to talk to them to help them know that you're looking for a job.
Very good. Again, I hope you guys are writing notes, and this information is powerful and impactful. As I said at the beginning, we talked, ladies, about work faith. We've said it several times. Work faith, work faith. What is work faith?
Okay, well, let's start out by saying the mission of Work Faith.
Absolutely.
We provide faith-based training and coaching for anyone who desires full-time employment. And our vision is a marketplace where work and faith connect, because we firmly believe and trust that there's some other things that go into play when you go to work. It's not just a matter of where you can, go earn some money. It's one of those commands that God gave Adam in the Garden of Eden. You know, he gave him an assignment. He gave him work. So that's one of the things that we're to do, and that's how we are to earn a living, is by using the gifts and talents that God gave us.
Yes.
So Work Faith is an organization where we will help prepare you for what you're going to have to face in that job market. That's who Work Faith is.
I love it, love it, love it. Latrina, did you want to add anything?
No, I think Miss Lois did a
Covered
good
it?
job. She covered it. Absolutely.
Well, one thing I can say, Latrina handles the job search accelerator classes. She's the lead instructor. So tell the viewers in a couple sentences what they can expect. Are there in-person classes? Are there online? How does that whole thing work?
Sure, thank you. It's hybrid, which means that we have individuals that choose to come in person. We would love to have them at our satellite location off of Reed Road. We're housed inside of the Star of Hope, one of their buildings in there. And we also have individuals who choose to view online, and we teach them at the same time. We have a wonderful technology to thank for that. So you can go to our website, workfaith.org, and you'll sign up for our next JSA class, which is the week of the 22nd. That'll be our next one. But then you can look on there and have all the different dates for the remainder of the year that you can sign up for.
Awesome. And so that's the training. Then you have something that's called the reinforcement, the backup team. And that's the coaches.
That is the coaching.
Tell the viewers, how do you come along after the person goes through, or individual goes through the job search accelerator? How does it fit?
Well, you can actually come to us one of two ways. Either you can come as a part of the job search accelerator class once they finish that 5-day class, then you can go and select a coach. Right now, I'm the lead coach, but there are two other wonderful career coaches that come alongside you and work with you one-on-one with your specific situation.
Yes.
Now, that's one way you can come through the JSA and select a coach, but you can also come directly to our website, www.workfaith.org, and you can go to our coaching page and you can still select a coach. And we have our bios on there. We talk about some of the things that we have as specialties, and we are willing and ready to go with you through whatever you need to be coached on. Now, there is no fee for the class, and also there is no fee for the coaching. Now, our JSA class, like I said, it lasts for 5 days. I believe the times are from 9 to 2, Monday through Friday. after that. But coaching, you can come back to coaching whenever you would like. I've been a coach at Work Faith now for over 7 years, and I still have to hear from some of my clients that I had from the very beginning. They will come back to me because a coach is not just there for when you find a job. We're
Right.
there to help you know what to do on the job so that you can keep the job. But we're also there when you want to advance in your career, and we will help you outline a plan for a career path. So that's one of the things that is unique to work faith coaching. We're your coach from then on, and there is never a cost for that.
I love it. And the years that I spent at Work Faith were awesome. I run into occasionally some students that came through, and it's always a blessing to see where they are, see the impact. And even if they didn't find a job immediately, they found hope, they
Yes.
found support, they found information to help them along the way that they would get nowhere else. So that's why I said nobody does it like Work Faith. And I hope you caught it. Work and faith connect.
Yes,
And
definitely.
I love it, ladies. I truly thank God that you have spent this time with us to educate and inform individuals either who are looking for a job themselves or they know someone who is. And I do want to get to Natasha. Hey, Natasha. She wanted to know, when should I follow up after an interview? That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. One of the biggest challenges I see for a lot of people is they are reluctant to follow up. Because a lot of times after an interview, they're going over in their head what they did right, what they did wrong. Some people come out and say, "Oh, I know I did a good job. I know they're going to offer me the job." And other people are like, "No, I really messed that up." But usually, and you should ask this when you're in the interview, you should ask, "So, when should I contact you to follow up on the status?"
Yes.
And they will usually tell you, they'll give you a date. If
Yes.
you have not heard from them, okay, let's give them a little time, especially if they tell you we're still interviewing and we have other people, that need to be interviewed first. Give them about a week, 7 business days, but you definitely want to get back with them. So that's why it's important that when you interview, find out how to go back and follow up. A lot of times people
Yes.
say,
Yes.
"I don't have an email for that person," or, "I don't know. They just said they were going to call me back." People, let me tell you, you are in the business of making sure you advocate for yourself. So
Yes.
there are
Yes.
questions you must ask. Don't just wait on them sometimes. You must ask. Now, let me tell you this. In your first interview, please don't ask them how much the job pays.
Thank you. Thank
Okay?
you. Yes.
That's one thing you don't want to do. You
Yes.
really want to give them an opportunity to bring you back in, because normally when they start bringing you back in, they're more interested.
Interested.
And when they make a job offer, that's when you have the opportunity to negotiate. Okay? You can
Yes.
negotiate some things. People don't realize that also. But
Yes.
you can negotiate. If you can't negotiate the salary, it could be some of the benefits or perks. But you have a lot of more power than you think you do when you are in job search. So get into your power. Get into your power, okay?
And that goes back to what Latrina said earlier, that do you have, yes, the need for a job? Yes. But more importantly, the employer has need of you, that
That's
you
right.
have what they need to
Yeah.
solve whatever problem, to fill a spot, to help increase or improve, enhance, whatever the case may be. So, like Miss Lois just said, the power is in your hands. And that's why on the flyer I said, are you looking for a job? The job is looking for you.
Mhm.
They are
Yeah.
looking for you. So, ladies, we talked about work faith, and all the great things that they do. Tell us again, how can they contact Work Faith? What's the website?
Definitely. They can contact us at www.workfaith.org. That
Love
is, yeah, you're going to find our whole program on our website. And we have, in addition to telling you about the JSA class and the coaching, we have a lot of other digital products as well that they can get a lot of knowledge from. So go
yes.
to that website and just peruse through there and see how we can help you, because we believe that we can.
And I know that they can. But speaking of Work Faith, we have Work Faith has some events coming up, but I definitely want to reiterate what they both have said: the Job Search Accelerator classes or the coaching. So you come in wherever you need, or wherever you feel will benefit you the most. It's free. You can again go to workfaith.org and find out all of the information to get registered. But there is a special event coming up, and I believe this is the 16th by Faith Breakfast, I believe. Is that
I,
right?
I
I
believe it is too.
think
I know, I have been at every By Faith Breakfast since 2017, and each one of them have been just wonderful
awesome,
opportunities to see
awesome,
God work in this marketplace. We normally have a wonderful speaker. This year is going to be held on September 10th, and we're going to be at the Royal Sonesta in the Houston Galleria area.
yes.
And we have a couple of great speakers. Lance Berkman, he's a baseball star, Houston
Here
Monarchs.
in Astros,
So
yes,
that's
all
right.
star.
Yes, and we also have Pastor Greg Mott. He is going to also be there with us, and we are just so looking forward to that. That is that really great opportunity to come out and learn more about work faith. You'll hear
Yes,
some of the
yes.
people that have gone through the classes. They're going to speak as well,
Mhm,
telling you how work faith benefited their lives.
mhm.
And then just having these other people who have come alongside us. We have a lot of sponsors that believe in work faith and are willing to pour into it with their finances
The
and with
resources,
their
the resources.
volunteerism, all that.
Yes.
So yeah, come out to that By Faith Breakfast. It is also free. It is free. So we want you to, when you go online to www.workfaith.org, you're going to see a pop up where you can register for that. So go ahead and register, and we would love to see you there.
Absolutely. And I've been to several, and they are awesome. Awesome. Well, again, ladies, I greatly appreciate the fact that you took this time out on a Sunday afternoon to share this information. I want to share information about you also. If Miss Lois, how can viewers contact you directly?
Viewers can contact me directly at
Uh-huh.
Work Faith by my email address, ljackson at workfaith.org. Or if you know me otherwise, you can get in contact with me at the Pathway Coach. One of the other things that I do outside of Work Faith is I help women who are going through various issues and challenges in their life, and I help them find the path to their best lives. So
Love
ljackson at
it.
workfaith.org or www.thepathwaycoach.com.
And Miss Latrina, tell the viewers how they can reach you, ma'am.
I would love to, but before I do, I just want to say one more thing about your job search journey.
Absolutely.
To make sure to help you to stand out amongst the competition, and I think this will add a little bit icing to the cake. Once you go to the interview and you're done, have on you already a blank thank you card. Handwrite a thank you note to the person or persons that interviewed you. Make sure in the thank you, you list something that was said during the interview that you know would
Yes.
their memory of you, and
Yes.
also close it with what are my next steps, or I look forward to the next step.
Yes.
Sign it. Then,
Yes.
very important, give it to the front desk receptionist, because this is going to be a point where they can go and say, hey, look what such and such did. They hand wrote you a thank you note. So they're already
Yes.
bragging. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
You can reach me at workfaith at ljohnson at workfaith.org, or you can reach me at fam.empowermentagency@gmail.com. I am an author. I'm also a motivational empowerment speaker. So I train all over, large crowds, small crowds. You will always find me in my element of purpose, empowering others to live their absolute best life.
Woo! I love it. Love it. Well, ladies, again, thank you so much for sharing this information. And I want to give a challenge to the viewers. If you had success with any of the tips or tools that you heard about today, contact them, let them know. Thank you for saying X, Y, and Z on the podcast. I did it, I applied it, and this is what happened. I know that they would love to hear all that information. And don't forget, register for that By Faith breakfast. It is awesome. It is an excellent way also for you to give back, just to say we need more organizations like this providing services like this. So any kind of support, whether it's financial resources or I call it people resources, volunteer. They need volunteers all the time for different things. So again, I guarantee you, nobody connects work and faith like work faith. So, ladies, again, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, you all be blessed. And I love you. And there is nothing you guys can do about it. Until next time, be blessed.
Bye-bye.